Um,
Why did I always do it the opposite way? Is this telling me something?
I'm crying.
I'm like on private. I had the Liddy filter. I guess I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah.
Go with this. Look.
Yeah.
All right. So this is our first time going live, but this is well overdue. We needed this.
Definitely.
So contact Lil Cuz. I'm like, yo, we need to go live and talk about some things. What you want to talk about?
Life,
Because,
like real life shit.
huh?
Life, real life shit.
Real life shit. Real life shit, right?
Definitely.
So your topic of the day was what?
Generational trauma.
Can you pin that in there?
Can I? Girl. What's her name?
Like I want to make sure because I don't want to do something and then break the whole live.
I don't even know how.
Ooh. Put in a comment. Put in a comment. Yeah, sorry we was late. We was trying to figure out like how to do this whole live stuff. So
What was it? We said what else? Generational. Oh, and how to break it, right?
mm-hmm.
Nah, I got a joke. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I still don't know how to pin it.
When you put in the
Oh, I did it.
look at you.
No,
Look at you. All right, Samantha. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in.
wait. I should
Where's
have.
everybody up to? How is your night going so far?
Yo, it's night. First of all, let's talk about how quick these days are fucking flying.
Yeah, I mean, it was Monday, and then all of a sudden, I'm
She
like,
said
wait a
she can't
minute.
hear us though.
Huh?
She said she can't hear us.
You can't hear us?
Paco, I need you to go check that.
Yeah, let me,
You heard? Girl, can you go check to see my audio? Fucking retarded ass bitch. Whatever. Today, like it's not hard to find it. Okay, can you hear me? Yes. Oh, she said it's good now.
put a one in the chat if y'all can hear us. Want to make sure,
Then
cause
I don't know how to wait that. Yeah, you don't have to wait that. No. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That was the wrong thing. That was absolutely not what I was trying to do.
what you do?
I try to invite her. She declined
Uh-huh.
it.
She
That is
would
what
have
I
been
was trying to
crazy.
do. Make you a moderator.
All right, so I guess let's get started.
Yeah, go ahead. How we starting this off?
Um, what is generational trauma?
See, look,
Uh
that was the one that I was stuck on, right? I feel
huh.
like textbook definition.
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I really don't know what the textbook definition is, but I feel like generational trauma is different for everybody.
That's
I feel
true.
like because we have like different upbringing and different experiences, I feel like everybody could answer that differently.
Right, right. Just like what we talked about earlier. Like for me, is growing up with emotional neglect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, never been through anything physical abuse or emotion, like nothing like that. And then till, I try to find, I'm like, something is missing, something is missing. And then I stumble across that. And I'm like, well, what is it? Because it's something that you can't really see, but you
Right.
can feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, that's something that, goes down from generation to generation. So it's like, how can you break that cycle?
Right.
And that's basically being aware of it, right? Talking
Mm-hmm.
about it, having these kind of conversations that we having, so that other people could try to like identify with themselves, like, wait a minute, I'm experiencing the same thing. So like you said, everybody's is different,
Definitely.
so anything that you want to chime in.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, I feel like growing up or with the parents that I have, I couldn't. I feel like there was always like not really a disconnect, but we talking about people coming from third world countries and like doing whatever they have to do to survive for real. Like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
parents giving their kids and stuff like that. Like they don't really know what love is. So yeah, my parents did exactly what they needed to do, or loved me to the best of their ability, but because they don't really know what love is, it's like but so much they could have gave.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then that's their definition of love. Oh, I put, food on the table. Like I went to work and make
Right.
sure I provide. Like
Roof over
that's
your
love.
head, food on the table, like
Yeah,
yeah.
kept the lights on. Like
Right, definitely the like
until you sit back and you're like, okay, what was not provided for you
right.
that you didn't to
Right.
provide for yours?
Mhm.
Let me
And then
turn
I
this
feel like
on.
because they were so stuck in their way or like um yeah, they don't know anything other than what they give. It's like they don't really see that we all really fucked up. Like it's real. It's a lot of emotions and real life shit that needs to be like addressed, I guess.
That's the issue because a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm good, I'm Gucci. Like ain't nothing wrong with me.
Right. Because you
So
don't
that's
really
why.
know though. Because I feel like even all of my life, I could never say, "Oh, like generational trauma." Hell no. How could I have? Like my mom and my dad did everything they needed to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then it comes down to like the little things. Like why is it awkward for me to hug my mom? I grew up with her. Like
Or
a
say I love
first
you.
day. Like it shouldn't be that awkwardness. But I mean, of course, I know now like where it came from. Her mother wasn't hugging her. She don't
So
know what that kind of love is.
when did you find out? Like what made you aware?
I don't know. I feel like recent. I don't even know like if I could say when I found out, but I feel like I've always noticed that whenever I would hug her, if I want to say like I love you, it's just that. Not that it's hard to say because yeah, of course, like I love my mom and I'm a hugger, but like why does it feel weird? Like why is that a hesitation whenever I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I should tell my mom today that I love her, or like let me go hug my mom, like that. I guess eventually just felt crazy at me. Like, why can't I hug my best friend with so much more ease than I could hug my parent?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
when it was
yeah.
like, nah, something right here don't feel right. Like it obviously comes deeper. Like, why is that? To then think about it, like, oh yeah, her parents wasn't hugging her. So of course there is that like she don't know what that is. She don't. I'm not saying that again. Don't not that she wasn't accepting of those hugs and accepting of the kisses, but it's like because she's not used to it. It's way more like
Awkward, right?
mad average. It's just mad average. That standoff like I know this is okay, but like is it? If that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making
Yeah.
sense.
A shout out to you for like identifying that because it took me a minute to identify like didn't even recognize or realize like, okay, giving your parent a hug or saying I love you, like that was not even something in my head to even think about till I found basically what it was and identified what the emotional neglect. And I'm like, oh, not being open with your emotions and,
Right.
showing them, if you're having a bad day, as simple as your parents saying, how was your day today at school?
Hmm.
As simple as something like that.
Right.
Growing up so you could express, yeah, today, da, 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 and then having that, conversation with them.
Then I feel like even with you saying that, oh, that
Uh-huh.
feels so crazy. But even with you saying that, I feel like so often I would come home having a bad day, and then my mom comes to me like, "Oh, this one got an attitude." Like, you don't know what I went through today. You don't know
Mm.
what happened with me throughout this day for you to even label me as an attitude. Like, I have an attitude. We're not gonna figure out why I have an attitude, or even if my attitude is
You're just
warranted.
gonna
But
label it.
you're gonna just jump into, oh, you at that age where you want to have an attitude. Like, I don't think people, unless, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't know how I feel about what I'm about to say, but tread lightly, I guess. Um,
Go ahead.
like, you have to be a sick individual to truly choose negativity. Like, I chose to come home and just have an attitude. It's like, I don't know. It's like certain things that just don't make sense. Where I feel like that was just pushed on. Like, you can't really express yourself. You can't.
No.
And then again,
Mm-mm.
understanding like they couldn't express. Who was they expressing it to? An absent parent, because that's what
Exactly.
they had to deal with. From
And
like,
who
from
you
a young
know who
girl.
told them that same thing too?
Right.
Oh, you got an attitude.
Right.
Not oh you okay, we got
God
some
forbid you
emotions
talk
going over
back
there.
or talk up. God forbid you have something to say about what's going on. Because you instantly got an attitude. You instantly rude. You instantly disrespectful. Like, there was no platform to express like, oh ma, I don't like how you talking to me. Oh ma, I don't like how you treated me. They didn't have that platform. They didn't have that. And yeah, they definitely didn't give it to me.
Right. So
So
it's
yeah,
like,
like that.
okay,
I feel like that's what it's now. To like understand what we
mm-hmm.
went through and understand like how it started, and then for us to now make different like moves for our kids and whatever else is coming after.
Yes, because they affect our relationships, whether if it's a romantic relationship, friendship, relationship you have with your children as well. That, that's how I found out, basically identifying with, okay, what I'm missing right here.
Right.
So how did you find out? Like, or what effects did it have for you in adulthood now?
I feel like I don't know if I got there yet to understand like where it is affecting me, other than me not accepting the bare minimum. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but like in relationships specifically, like it's so hard for me to say I love you.
Really?
It's so hard for me to say that. I feel like even when I'm comfortable when I'm saying it, like I genuinely like I love you, I'm at that place, I feel like it's still awkward. And I don't know, like I'm
Wow.
about to now start asking people around me, like when I tell y'all I love y'all, like do y'all feel my awkwardness? Because I promise you, if I've ever said I love you to even my
Well, who you
family
telling I
now,
love you to?
if even
Because you
you,
never said it. Obviously, you never said it to
I
me.
never see you, so we're not gonna do that. I gotta
Verbal
see.
or text.
I
That's
don't,
different.
and even that, I've never said it to you. I've never looked you in the face
And,
and said, "Yo, I love you."
and
I
that's sad
can't.
because I never did either. Like,
I can't. No, not that I can't, but I feel that awkwardness, like Monique. And then Mo specifically is so comfortable saying "I love you," and then because I love Monique, Mo, I love you, but like that awkwardness, I can't.
right.
Like to genuinely let it flow off my like I can't.
Okay, so you
It's
just got
too
to do it
awkward.
more often, basically.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that's
yeah.
all it
And
takes.
ultimately,
So can
you want
I'm
me to
waiting.
practice it right now? Mm. The next live, the next live. After the live, I'll
You
tell you how
still
it is.
working on it? You
Yeah,
still working on it?
yeah,
That's true. It definitely take a while. Like that's something that, you know, I'm like,
yeah.
that's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
But after a
But I
couple
feel
of
like
practice. Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
feel like your dad. I mean, I can't speak for your experience, right? But
Right.
like seeing you deal with your dad, I feel like he's more like giving of that than your mom.
Okay,
And I
so
feel
let's
like even with me dealing with your dad, I feel like it's easier to be like, and this is I don't know, but dealing with your dad, I feel like he would tell me he loves me, which is like not crazy, but I again the same awkwardness of me saying it back versus if your mom was to tell me, which I don't think she would. I feel like I would still feel more comfortable telling your mom back.
so
That makes
it's a
sense?
male figure? Is it that's what
I
it
don't
is?
think there's male figures though because you're not a male figure.
That's true. So Let me see how I feel. I think I'll probably be more comfortable saying it to my dad maybe than my mother. I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know. Um, so that has not been something that we would be like, okay, yeah, I love you, bother. No, until I feel like the passing of my niece and my brother would say it, and then that's when, they would say it or whatever, but it's not something that soon you get off the phone, okay, love you. Really, how I grew up is,
That's
I love you. Like, that's the kind of love. It's like
right,
tough love.
right,
Like, I love you, so I don't have to say it.
at all. I feel like even saying that, like my mom would tell me she loves me before a flight.
Hmm,
Like
hmm.
if she's driving somewhere before she leaves, but like end the conversation like yeah, Leah later. Yeah, no.
I would hang up the phone before. I'd be like, all right, bye. I'm
Even
not.
yo, speaking of that, I feel like even hanging up the phone be so awkward for me. I don't be knowing how to just like, cause what do I say? Like, I mean, yeah, of course, like bye is enough, but like that's my mother. Like, should I not be saying like, yeah, ma, I love you. Like, talk to you later. Like, why is that still an awkward thing for me?
I set up plays where it's like, whatever, and they're like, okay, so I'm gonna just do this, and I'm gonna call you back. So it seems like I'm gonna call you back, or I'm gonna talk to you soon. So there's no reason to add,
Nothing else. No closing. Like, I
yeah, I
love you.
love
So
you
I,
before. No.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
But that was the point of this, right? Like for us to now cancel uh those things, like to actually practice it, to actually get comfortable with it, so
Have
that
you
we
had
don't have this awkwardness over and over again.
like a not really a stranger, but like a few
Whew,
times people would
girl,
be like, I love y'all, and for the when they used to say that, I'd be like, I don't know, it just felt weird. And then one time, I guess, because, people was doing to me that I would say it. And I'm like, but that's okay to tell people, like, I love y'all.
right?
Then, all right, love you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Right.
different. And then
I
it's
don't know
like
if I've
playing up
ever
the
said I love
tone.
you first, like outside of family.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever in my life till this day.
I'll do a
Like I
quick
don't
love
even
you.
like it. Don't even matter if I'm feeling it first or like
Hmm.
more. I mean, I'm almost certain that I don't really know how to love. So I guess that affects like real life, right? That was the question you asked me before.
Can you say that again?
Whoo, is that accountability speaking? No, let me stop. Yeah, I don't know how to love.
Mm.
I don't think I do.
So
I feel like
this
even
one is
saying I
really
don't
deep.
think I do is really like a cop out because I know for sure I don't. I feel like I can't for sure say I know how to love and then not know how to say even I love you. Like how could you for sure say you know how to love and then don't know how to express that?
So I'm gonna ask you this: do you love yourself?
Whoo, you are no. Let me stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Real shit.
No, for real, because people would say all day long, "Hell
I
yeah, I
love
love
myself.
me."
I feel like I don't want to say again a cop out because I want to sugarcoat. I feel like right now I'm about to sugarcoat the fuck out of it.
Right, right,
But
right, right.
I feel like there is so many things that I am not happy with myself right now to even say fully and confidently that I love myself right now. Have
Okay.
I loved myself before? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know how to get back to loving myself? Absolutely. And I
Mm-hmm.
say that
Mm-hmm.
only because it's like I know what I'm not happy with. Like I know what I need to work on and what I want to fix to get to that point again.
So it's conditional.
I want to say that. I want to say
Yeah.
that.
So it's conditional. It's like under these conditions, I can love myself.
Yeah.
So it feels more like putting yourself like way up here, and then when you fall short, you're beating yourself up.
Right.
So that goes back to the generational trauma is that these are learned behaviors and patterns. Who
Mm-hmm.
did that to us when we were younger?
Right.
So now, as an adult, you're doing the same thing because it's learned behavior.
And then even speaking of that, like I don't know if this goes under generational trauma, but I feel like I talk about it so often, like especially our family. Like our family does this thing of like I'm heavy advocate on it, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or talking about it, not that I'm an advocate for it, but comparing kids or at this point we grown ass adults, but comparing these grown ass adults, like why is it that the generation above us is talking about what the 21 to 35-year-olds are doing or not doing? Or why is it that what one person or one family, one household, what they got going on is so topic of conversation for another family? Like I feel like that goes back to like
Copping
just
out.
the pressure specifically on, or let me speak for myself, but the pressure that I
Mm-hmm.
even put on myself because of how I know, me being my mom's only kid, like I know the type of conversation that's around just me alone,
Mm.
right? Or what I'm doing or how I'm doing it or whatever the case is. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that is just mad added pressure and stress to be ahead of whatever you
So
are
that's where
within
it's
our
coming
family.
from. That's where it's coming from.
100%.
The approval. The approval.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and again, that's what I'm saying. Let me speak for myself because I'm sure as a family we can all agree that that is what happens. But I feel like um maybe I'm too stuck in the game versus other people. Because and I only say that because it's like if I didn't partake in those conversations, then it would not bother me. And not
Right.
partaking it
Right.
as if I'm having conversations with X, Y, and or Z about
Mm-hmm.
who's better than the next, but just in the fact that I am now putting that pressure on myself because now I want to be good looking in my mom's eyes. But then
Mm-hmm.
obviously that conversation goes. That's the conversation that my mom is going to use to have leverage in the other conversations about who's the greatest.
Mm.
So I feel like I'd be not that I'd be faulting myself, but I do understand the role that I play in it because I also put mad emphasis on being ahead of myself, basically, or putting that
Mm-hmm.
much pressure
Mm-hmm.
on myself to be ahead of myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of pressure.
OD, it's so, and then it's so many of us, right? So it's like
Right.
not only are you, or it be feeling like not only do you have to be the role model, but now you gotta hold the role model role, and then continue doing better than what's ahead of you. So now you gotta be great for the people behind you, and then hold that being great because whoever's ahead of you was not great, which is
You know
just
what? How much more is important that somebody accolades and what they're doing and how great they are, right? And then for another turn around and commit suicide. Which one holds more weight?
right. No,
Do you
exactly right.
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I totally get where you're coming from, but at the
yeah.
same time, I feel like within our family dynamics, like we already know what that's about. But that's
I
not
feel like
about
it's
us.
too late
That's
for
about
something like
them.
that.
Because to partake in that conversation amongst, let's do comparison. You
Mm-hmm.
know, this is some old ritual that y'all do whatever because did y'all set up the right play?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So you
Right.
can't, yeah, I'm gonna just make something, throw it out there. Let's see what mine's is up to and how far mine's got. And it wasn't no, good play to set up.
Right.
Like so how we was gonna there was no, the amount of
How was
nurturing
I
that
gonna
was
be great
needed.
when you didn't even set me? Not that you didn't set me up, because I'm not taking away from what was being done, but
Hmm.
you didn't set me up for that. You wanted me to be this. You want all right. So yeah, perfect. You wanted me to be this role model for whoever was behind me. Cool. You wanted me to finish school, get a degree. You wanted all this stuff from me, but who was doing that for me? What was the generation above me that was doing exactly what they want from me?
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I'm
Because the
like,
same attitude that I'm walking around with, I can name a few. The
they
same.
only is go
No, go
ahead.
ahead. No,
I'm just saying that that's just
no,
only a projection of, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, so I want you to do this and do that instead of allowing a person to be great on his own, because it's causing you to have a lot of anxiety, and it's causing you to focus more on what you don't have to get focus on what you do have,
Right.
and already whatever the skills and everything that you already have now to propel you forward. That's why the love for yourself is conditional. Do you
Right.
get what I'm saying? And the
Mhm.
most important thing for you to, you know, proceed to move forward and do the greatness is
Mhm.
to have that, is to forgive yourself from the past, the present, the future, and
Mhm.
then saying, okay, I may be where I'm at right now, but I'm setting up blocks to get where I'm trying to get in the future, because there's no competition with nobody. It's myself.
Right. Right. And I
So,
think that I feel like I just again just learning that because I feel like even if we would have had this conversation maybe last year, it would have been a whole different tone, a whole different mindset. Because even up to last year, I was heavy on the same wanting to be great. Like it was many times where I was like, "Oh, I'm hell no, I'm not letting go of TSA." That was like the prized possession. Like being
mhm,
with the TSA, that was the topic of everything. Like I'm doing so great. I'm unhappy. Like I was there in that aspect.
yeah.
So it's like just putting up with or feeling like I had to put myself in certain I guess situations just to hold that
And you got to think about it too.
let me
I
live
mean,
a life
I think it
beyond
was
that.
genius. It was smart to hold the government job, but what jobs did you want?
Right. But and that's the thing though, it's like I don't ooh, is that gonna make me emotional? I don't know
Uh-huh.
what I wanted. Or I could or again sugarcoating shit. I don't know what I want for real.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Like I feel like even
Everybody's
now,
figuring it out.
right. I feel like all my life I was again not a bad thing. Like not to be taken as a bad thing. Because I feel like the best advice that could have been gave to me at the time was to get a government job over something that I was not going to benefit from. So I'm not taking away from that at all.
Right,
Right?
right, right.
But I still feel like even now, as a grown ass adult, I'm still chasing that and not chasing or even acknowledging or even knowing what's actually making me happy. Like what I actually want to do with my life. And I feel like even going back to school, I felt like I was into tech and coding and all that, which I'm very much into. But it was like at this point, you're just trying to do anything so that when you're not doing nothing, it's not a topic of conversation.
Mm.
So again, living
Wow.
to please everybody else.
That's the issue. You pleasing
That's it.
everybody else except for yourself.
Yeah.
So if you was to have,
Monique said fuck school.
uh-huh.
Monique said fuck school.
I don't even see anything in the comment. It was
I think
all the
I
way
seen
down here at the
I seen a
bottom.
question too, but I didn't know how to read it.
Because it's like blocking
It said
everything
tap
on
oh I
mine.
tapped the question. Look, what is it?
Um, you say you tapped the question?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't a question, but she said something. Something different.
Samantha, so far from me, it's physical neglect. We never say I love you. We never hug. Or no, like not in my family.
Not at all.
I didn't even know,
Not
like
in
I
my
said, I
family.
didn't even know it was a thing until, going through romantic relationships to say, okay, what's going on? Like they always said, whatever you're going through is a mirror reflection of what's really going on. And I just kept researching. I'm like, where's the disconnect? Because I'm not getting it.
Hmm.
And then ended up, I don't even know how I landed. I don't even know how, but it was in somebody's comments, probably was like a YouTube video. Who knows? Like I said, I'll be doing research.
Yeah.
And there you go, emotional neglect. And I was like, wait, what is that? People and everybody was like identical to mine saying, I had, food on the table, supportive parents, and this and that. But I didn't know what it was. I knew something was missing, but I couldn't identify it. And it's something that's just like a hug. Like, do you get tucked in bed at night, kiss, love you, good night, have a
But you know what?
no.
That's I feel like this is what be making me not that I'm afraid to say it, but I feel like this is where my tug of war with myself be because I slept with my mother or in my mom bed for way too long. Let's just say
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I was probably like 15, 14, still sleeping with my mother. Not because
Mhm.
I didn't have a bed, but because that was my comfort.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
to some extent, I was getting that, right? But
Mhm.
like I said, it was that the other side of like I'm not getting the I love you. So not that I was like whatever, I wasn't getting the I love you. So whenever I was getting it, it was awkward. So it's like okay,
Mm.
so can I claim to even say that there was no emotional neglect or like generational trauma, or is that not a valid like statement to
Because
make?
you was sleeping in her bed.
Just because it. So I guess it's just levels of it, right? I had to. That's a whole nother topic, but I feel like I answered myself. Um, I feel like for a long time I was not really understanding that there is levels to trauma, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I would downplay what I was feeling off the strength of I know for sure somebody had it worse than I did. So I was
Mm.
basically like not acknowledging like, yo,
Mm.
it wasn't crazier than somebody else's, but nobody else's trauma is deeper than yours.
Mm.
And I feel like yeah, basically I just answered my question because I be forgetting that it really is that deep. Like just because
Mhm.
I just because I got stabbed with a pencil and you got shot does not make, not that it doesn't make your trauma worse than mine, but it does not take away from my hurt because that was the hardest level of hurt that I experienced. So I don't know what it's like to get shot, but that hurt me to the max of my hurt.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I have to.
And then that acknowledgement as well ties into, like children being what's they said, be seen and not heard. And
Right.
yeah.
Remember
So
that era?
imagine.
Remember that era of not being able to express yourself, or even now, speaking to our generational people, um, for them to still say like, "Oh, your generation is just so soft. Your generation,
Mhm.
you can't say nothing to y'all. Y'all generation." It's like,
So
okay,
sensitive.
your
Yeah, that's what they
generation
say.
could not speak. If you was hurt, you couldn't speak. So it's not even that like, oh, we too soft. It's that now we have
That
a
voice.
better platform than y'all did to now talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
hurt that we experienced. Oh, we had to just. I want to quote. I don't know if Kay's watching, but she said yesterday. She said, um, when she was growing up, she said they would have to write in a journal and basically chuck it up. Like after they wrote it down, that was it. And then I had to sit back and think, like, no, you didn't chuck it up, and it wasn't just it, because you just writing. Not that just writing your emotions down don't help, but like you didn't
Uh-huh.
get it out to
Uh-huh.
nobody else. You just hurt and was just hurt because your parents, whoever hurt you,
No.
don't even know that they hurt you. So you just let it out and just let it go. You didn't get to express why it was hurt. You didn't get to let them know that they hurt you so that they don't continue to hurt you. Like
That
you just
too.
had to keep writing
So
it
no
down and chucking it up.
communication. There was no support, no reaching out, no nothing. It's like whatever you go through, you keep it to yourself, and that's when the whole, I'm a strong woman come into play. We're being strong for too long,
Right,
and we don't know how to reach out to ask for help. You get
right,
what I'm saying? And then we want to be. I want to be the strong person, and it's like, nah, like it's okay to be like, hey, I need help in this kind of area. Like I can't be strong all the time.
right.
Even the fact that it's like, okay, whatever I'm going through, I'm like, it don't matter because I live.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't know that it just add and add and add and add. Yes, like most say, so you can't, it's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's heavy out here.
Strong for I feel like for everybody else. For me specifically, it's just me wanting to be strong for everybody else. I feel like so much more to say, but again, another topic, another day. But yeah, no. I feel like even talking about it now, like I'm now in a space to have certain conversations. Like I said last year, not that I didn't know it, but I feel like I wasn't acknowledging things that now I could like. Oh yeah, I got some things to fix. I got some things to pay attention to.
And learn how to communicate and express yourself. I feel like that's something that, you know, like I mentioned before, growing up, it's like, oh, let a child, go somewhere. You don't pay a child any mind. The child don't have opinion. Child don't voice. The child don't nothing. So you're invisible.
You're supposed to be quiet. You
You're
can't feel.
supposed to be quiet.
God forbid you got a feeling. Who want to hear that? Get
Your
your ass in the
feelings
room.
don't matter.
Nah, not at all.
Your feelings don't matter. Yeah. So that's what makes it, it's a lot to deal with. And then when you get into adulthood, now you gotta reparent yourself.
Right.
That's tough.
Mhm.
Having that
Definitely.
self-discipline, having that
Definitely.
structure, having that, just say to yourself, yo, I love you regardless. Like we out here, we're gonna get it together. You know what I'm saying? See, that
Definitely.
same thing we have to be able to do for ourselves.
hmm
We have to repair ourselves.
I mean, of course, that's gonna be a process, but I feel like once you start to understand and like, not even like accept it, but like acknowledge, like, yeah, these are things that I'm not comfortable doing, and this is why I'm not comfortable doing, or this is the cycle that I'm still stuck in that I no longer need to be stuck in. I feel like that's when, yeah, you can move forward on like
That
fixing
healing.
or healing, basically that, just healing.
That healing. Yes, yes. Let's see.
I don't think there's no more questions. What I click?
Any other questions in here?
Nope, not yet. I said nope. That was it for
No.
now. Only Samantha said that one thing. Um, but
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. Life is real crazy.
Yeah, so we
Not
need
that
to
it
be
has
able
to
to,
be, but
huh?
I said not that it has to be, but yeah,
Hmm. And having grace for yourself.
yeah.
So, basically be able to express yourself
Oh wait,
and,
look, real quick though.
uh-huh.
Um, wait, finish. Let me get my thought. Um, what was you saying just now?
You said, wait, real
No,
quick.
go
What
ahead.
happened?
I'm trying to gather my thought, but continue what you were saying. So then I'll say it.
No, go ahead.
But I don't know yet. I gotta read it, so I don't want it to just be quiet while I read it.
Oh, okay. No, I was saying it's the process of healing, is to have conversations like this, being
hmm
able to communicate, being able to express ourselves, parent ourselves, you know.
You are so disrespectful. It's crazy. Look, get out my business. I can't
Ah,
stand him.
how do you pee?
Oh, all of them my business. Let me see your hands. Let me come on live right now. Let me see your hands. Oh
um,
wait, I read it wrong. See, I was about to come for you. He wasn't even coming for you. He said, "Y'all perfectly fine." Yeah. See, look, I was coming for you.
uh,
So he about to put on some little bit. Nah. Oh, look, this is what I was saying because
uh-huh.
I had looked up generational trauma on Google, right? So this the Google page was just in my face, but the shit say traumatic impact and emotional fallout. And again, I feel like we can heavily speak on that, like the fact that my parent don't talk to another family member. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's expected, or it's that push to for you to also not be cool with that next person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's just a whole other situation, a whole nother a part of the fucking generational trauma that is passed on. It's
Mm-hmm.
been being passed on for how many years?
Oh, nah, that's something that's normal in our family.
So normal. So normal.
That's normal.
Like
Holding
it's so
grudges
funny.
for
Yes.
nonsense. Making sure the kids don't talk to this
If
person
I
or
don't talk to
talking about
someone,
that person.
yeah.
So,
But then even think about it, like how many relationships we miss out on just because of how that's set up. How many cousins we got that we don't interact with on a regular? How many cousins we see day to day and still be on some like, not that I ever be standoffish or don't want to say nothing, but it's like how many interactions have we like past cousins or whoever and not say nothing
Yeah, I'm
because
glad
of
you
what
mentioned that because so many people have been dying.
too many
I
too
mean,
many people been dying.
it's crazy. It's almost like every time I go on like social media, it's like rest in peace to this person. Just now coming on, it was like rest in peace to the B Smith. I'm
Who is
like
that?
an
I don't even know
R&B
who he is.
singer.
Okay.
He came out around I want to say 2010 ish,
Mhm.
10, 13 ish, yeah. And then like he had a song that you probably heard of it, but you got to be like an R&B to know it. But
Nah, burn me
no,
there.
yeah. So it's no room or time to have any grudges and not want to speak to this person, you know,
Especially
because
off the strength of somebody else. Like if y'all had a fallout and that was your fallout, absolutely handle your business however you feel fit.
mhm,
But
mhm.
whenever it's like I don't even know this cousin, but because my parent or whoever don't mess with whoever their maybe their parent, then just because of that issue, me and the kids are not cool. Or even
Yeah.
me and the person that they beefing with is not cool. Or like, yeah, I don't know. I just think that it just don't make sense. Like there's too many of us for it to be
Mhm.
so many situations where that we can all say like, oh yeah, we don't talk to this. We don't even know. Not even that we don't talk to, because I feel like even that sets up this thing as if we don't want to. I feel like it's the idea of like because of what's going on with my parent and your parent, we don't even have the opportunity. Well, I mean, as adults now we can, but before we didn't even have the opportunity to make that right, or because
Yeah.
it was set up, or through all these years we wasn't around those people. Was like how we do that now? Like we all
Mhm.
adults,
How to
we
rid
all
them of
living
the
differently. Like how can we
mhm.
start that now?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, it's not too late. We could definitely figure something out.
Mhm.
But
That is true because it's like the parents showing us like how not to have good relationships.
right,
you know,
right.
you
Because
know.
who knows? Like the person that the cousin that we don't talk to on a regular probably could be our favorite or best cousin.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then
Messing up.
there's so
Mhm.
many talented people in our family alone. To even think about us doing this, like how many people could tell a story? How many people are into podcasting and YouTubing and all this stuff that we can't just collaborate together to do something?
I always say like, yo, one person put out like for example like a YouTube and we told our whole family like that's an audience right
We
there.
were just talking about that. Monique literally just was talking about that.
Yeah, so it's like, yo, I'll put out a video, or I'll put out this or whatever. Go support. Maybe it's not we don't have it not organized. But what's that word when like we're
What's that?
not on the same accord?
Wave.
You know,
So let's just say wavelength. But
it's
then
kind of
not
everybody just
also like
like,
not
oh,
everybody is gonna be on that at the same
right,
time.
right.
Yeah,
Yes,
too many
definitely, it's
places
in the
already.
works.
Yeah,
So that's
definitely.
something that we're gonna start doing. Then we're gonna have our
Yeah.
family link up. Yep, we're gonna get in
Right.
alignment. Yeah, we're not in alignment with our family.
There we go. Right.
So
And
that's
that's the
something that
thing,
we need
but
to work
even with
on.
that, it's like it's so hard to get everybody on the same page. Just for the simple fact that like everybody, especially at this age, is doing their own thing.
We could
Not that it's
like
not time. Don't get me wrong, because anything can be done. Anything can
it
be
can
done.
happen. It can
Yeah,
happen.
we just
It
gotta
can
put
it
the
can
discipline
definitely
together.
happen. Yeah, just set up
Sure.
a group chat or something, and hey, this is what this is about, and then everybody share whatever that they're doing, and we're going to support, like like a family link up,
Great.
and put out that energy, like, hey, this is what we want to create. So
Yep.
if you're not trying to be a part of it, then exit, basically.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So.
Right. Not even on like it's not mandatory. Obviously, it's not mandatory, but like it's no pressure. If you want to do it today, then that's cool. If you want to do it next week, then that's cool too. Like no
Hmm.
pressure. It's just an open space for us to actually
Yes.
get in alignment.
So is everybody on Instagram or is Facebook or like what's one
I feel like
area?
more people, and that's another thing too. I feel like that's a generation thing. So if we're gonna focus on us now, let's say even the 18s to the 40s, then I
Yeah.
want to say Instagram. But if you talking, how old is Shaka now? I don't even know. But like
And
Shaka,
funnies.
Auntie Katie, all of them are like Facebook. So it just depends on what generation you're targeting to have that
I
audience.
bet we have two.
Yeah, absolutely. You could do
IG
all of them
one
and Facebook. You could do
and
all of them.
Facebook one. So whatever
But with
family.
that though, I feel like again, and I don't want to take away from nobody, but I feel
Hmm.
like it's easier to target our generation because we do want this. Like we are now realizing the
I
what we
got you. I'm the oldest. Yes, yes. So what we're gonna
exactly.
do? We're gonna start this group chat, this family group chat, and we're gonna
Yeah.
do our little family union. Because
Right.
that's what I think. Like our generation needs that. We always looking for somebody else. Like, oh,
Do
because
it.
I was like, why we don't have our family union?
Right.
All right, Mo. So get ready.
No, for real, for real, for real.
2023. We're gonna plan everything. We got this. We got
Got it.
this.
We got
This is how we're gonna break the generational curses.
one step at a
And
time.
start right here, right now, by showing up, supporting. So I'm
Yeah,
excited.
definitely. It's about time. I'm tired of battling my cousins for nothing. And even if
Hmm.
I'm battling by myself, because like I said, if they're not even thinking about it the way I'm thinking about it, then I'm literally battling myself. But like,
Exactly.
I just want to get out of all of that.
And then there's a support team too.
Yeah, for sure.
So if anybody going through whatever, a lot of times, even for us, I'd be like, do my own thing. I'm like, yo, I ain't checking on Lee. Let me see
Mhm.
how she doing.
Mhm. Yep.
They'd be like, check on your strong friends. Like,
No fact.
check up on them.
Yeah.
You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? On her. So,
So much.
yes, I feel all the love. I'm so excited. So, as soon as we're going to get off here, we're going to start that. So I'm going to
Yeah.
start on Facebook, and then you do I'm going to start on Instagram. You do the Facebook. So you could
Mhm.
just add.
Oh, but that's what I was saying. I don't know if I finished that thought. Our the younger generation is easier to target than the older generations because I feel like they're so stuck in their way. So I feel like the
That's the
only
problem. That's the problem,
that's
right?
what I
But
said,
then it's a
right?
good thing because they're going to step up. When they see what we're doing, they're going to be like, yo, I'm so proud of y'all. They have no choice but to step up
Right,
because we're going to reverse it.
right. But that's what I'm saying though. I feel like right now, just because not that it's too late for them, not taking away
No,
from that, but just
uh-uh.
I feel like we should put all of our energy and dedication to us right now because we are ready to make that change and then we are in charge of the generation after. So I feel like they already
Absolutely.
did it. They lived, they brought us up how they got us now.
Hmm.
And now I
Hmm.
feel like we
Hmm.
should put all our energy in us.
And
And then
us.
of course that's gonna follow. Because when we together, there is
And
no
we in
hidden. It doesn't
alignment,
matter
like
what's
Mo
being said
said.
by them. It
Yep.
doesn't matter what
All
they
that
doing.
don't
It doesn't
matter.
matter how y'all acting. Like we are good. And we're gonna continue to be good and continue to raise good.
Yo,
So I feel like that energy should just be like literally full force us. Like we need to focus on us. We need to rebuild us. We need to love us. And
uh-huh,
then everything
uh-huh,
follows.
uh-huh. Yeah. I just felt all the energy. Like, I'm loving this.
I'm so. I mean,
So
I'm
this is,
even grateful that we can have these conversations. Like I'm even happy that I could express certain things now.
mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
you couldn't. You was not getting all this out of me the other day. Like so,
Well,
the
I'm
fact that
happy
we
you
could
at a
actually
good
do it.
place. This
Yeah.
is something that we talked about for the longest.
Yeah.
So I'm
Daily.
happy that we just jumped on it. Was a test run, so we looking forward to doing more of these. So y'all definitely stay tuned. We don't really have like a set date or anything like that, but Mo, you coming up next time though, so
Right.
get ready.
But
Get
that's the
ready.
thing too, right? Like we could just start like even if we was to say every Thursday at a certain time and then have a different person up talking about something completely different.
Oh yeah, let's
Because
do
we all
that.
got experiences to talk about. Like we all
Y'all let
got
me
other
know what
people that
topic y'all want to talk about.
yeah.
Message us,
And
and
then
then
what we
we make
even
it
going to
happen.
do? What's the question we sleeping on tonight or for the weekend?
I want to say like building, something with building, like building up, building structure. The year 2023 represent transformation. So that's good timing to come in with building and having structure, especially, starting off with our family.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
That's what we got right now.
That's what
Not
you
as right
got.
now, but the way people just leave it, and we don't
You
even
get
have
what
the
I'm
time.
saying?
Right. We don't even
Exactly.
give each other the time to love on each other. Or the
Exactly.
space or the comfortability to even love on each other. So it's
Nah, it got to
definitely,
start now. It got,
yeah,
it
for
got
sure.
to start now.
I mean, it started already. We talked and we talked and we talked for so long, and we acted on it today. So we started already.
That's right. That's right. And I appreciate you showing up and everybody showing us love and showing up as well because this is good. This
Yeah,
is good. It's
definitely.
needed. It's definitely needed,
Yep.
especially in our community to talk about these topics and healing and self love and
Hmm.
having support. I think that's really, really important is having support.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
No.
right.
For sure.
Anything else you want to add in?
I think that's it for me.
That's it.
I feel like again me on my Google, but I feel like what I am gonna probably go do after this is to at least write down what my traumas are,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge those, and then dig deeper into that. I feel like if we're gonna take away an activity, that should be our activity
So
for
our
the
activity
weekend.
is what? Say it again, Leah.
Write down all your traumas, generational specifically, um, just to get a better understanding of like why you feeling how you feeling, or what to acknowledge what you went through.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said
Mm-hmm.
earlier, like for me, it was just an idea of me not even, or me basically downplaying the trauma because I felt like, nah, I had it all. My parents did it all. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't ever have the platform to accept it. So I feel like now is go dig deep and
Dig
find
deep.
where it is so we can get rid of it. Like we can understand it and we can move past it.
All right. So dig deep, acknowledge it so we can heal through it.
Right. What is your trauma?
What is your trauma? What's your triggers? So
Ooh,
we
not
got we got
trigger.
homework. We got homework to do.
Yes, for sure.
All right. I think we're gonna end it tonight.
Yes,
Like I said, we
ma'am.
don't really have no date, but just look out in our stories or on our posts. And I love you, beautiful people, for showing
Ooh, she
up.
said I love you.
I love you, Leah.
Ooh, I love you too.
Yes, right. And I love you guys so, so, so much.
Yes, for
Thank you
sure.
again, like I said, for showing up. Your purpose is value here. And until next time, peace out.
Good night, guys.
Good night.